Welcome class 11th. We were doing with this We Are Not Afraid to Die, personal account of the narrator, Gordon Cook, and his family were on the tour to round the a tour around the world. So they want to complete a tour around the world in the fashion the Captain Cook has done almost 200 years ago. So they are caught in the storm in the southern Indian Ocean because of the atrocious weather there. So they are now, their ship is broken. It is badly hit by the waves. The family of the narrator is scattered. He doesn't know anything about his family. He himself was thrown away from the ship, and anyhow he came back to the deck of the ship, and it was very, very frightful. So we have already gone through this, that how his teeth were broken because he got hit. His ribs were also broken, and he was anyhow trying to come to the deck to handle the steering wheel and to put the stern in the direction so that the ship could face upcoming waves. So up to here we have studied किस तरह से उसने प्रिपरेशन की, फिर कैसे हिट हुआ उसका शिप वेव वॉकर, फिर किस तरह से वो वापस डेक में आया, how much injured he is and how he is struggling to save the boat. Water everywhere. I could feel that the ship had water below, but I dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. Suddenly the front hatch was thrown open and Mary appeared. We are sinking, she screamed. The decks are smashed. We are full of water. Water everywhere. Means in the ship, everywhere there was water. Means long wave, sea and ship, everywhere there was water. I couldn't feel that the ship had water below, but I dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. So I was not aware of this fact whether the water is there under the deck, जहाँ नीचे बच्चे हैं, जहाँ बाकी का सामान है, below the deck water है कि नहीं. He was not sure, but he dared not. Dared not means couldn't get the courage to abandon. Here the word abandon means to leave. छोड़ने के लिए तैयार नहीं था. किसको? The wheel, steering wheel को, so that he could get a control over the ship. And instead of doing that, he was not courageous enough to go down and investigate. Investigate means find out. अब जाके पता लगाने की उसकी हिम्मत नहीं हो रही थी. He felt himself helpless to leave the steering wheel. Suddenly the front hatch was thrown open. Front hatch means front door. It's a kind of wooden, or hatch was thrown open, ऐसे खुल के बाहर आया. Mary appeared, and Mary came out of that. Mary is his wife. We are sinking, she screamed. Screamed means she cried in a loud voice and said, we are sinking. The decks are smashed. पूरे deck जो ऊपर का upper part है, it is badly smashed. Smashed means broken. We are full of water. Take the wheel, I shouted as I scrambled for the hatch. So I said her to get this wheel because he was also well trained to handle the ship. So the writer or the narrator shouted, and I scrambled for the hatch to cover the broken part. He was looking for the hatch. Larry and Herb. Who are Larry and Herb? Who are Larry and Herb? Larry and Herbs are two crewmen who were hired by the narrator at South Africa. Yes, one is Swiss and another one is American. So they were pumping like madmen. The broken timbers hung at the crazy angles. The whole starboard side bulged inward. Cloth, crockery, charts, tin and toys sloshed about in deep water. So they were working with the pump to pump out the water from the ship. They are working hard. Broken timbers means wood, hung at the crazy angles. Hung means were lying, were on the deck at the crazy angles, means very dangerous angles. means pointed towards the person. If anybody get hit by those crazy angles of broken timbers, टूटी लकड़ियों के ऐसे pointed parts बन गए हैं, pointed एंगल बन गए हैं कि दे आर वेरी डेंजरस. द होल स्टारबोर्ड साइड बर्स्ट इनवर्ड. जो साइड बोर्ड है शिप का, जो साइड बोर्ड है, द बोर्ड दैट सपोज टू सपोर्ट द शिप एंड डिफ्लेक्ट द वेव्स बैक टू सी इज बर्स्ट इनवर्ड्स. अंदर की तरफ को क्या हो गया? बर्स्ट. बर्स्ट मीन्स हैव थ्रोन इनसाइड. हम जैसे किसी टिन पे बाहर से जोर से मारते हैं तो अंदर के साइड क्या आ जाता है? एक उभार सा आ जाता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड बर्स्ट. व्हेन वी आर एंग्री आवर आईज आल्सो बर्स्ट. जब हम गुस्सा होते हैं और आइज बर्स्ट, बाहर आने लगती हैं आंखें बड़ी होकर. इट इज कॉल्ड बर्स्ट आइज. कुछ लोगों की नेचुरली बर्स्ट आइज होती हैं. सो साइड बर्स्ट इनवर्ड. सिमिलरली द स्टारबोर्ड, द साइड part of the ship was burst inward. Clothes, crockery, charts, tins and toys sloshed about in the deep water. They were sloshing around, they were floating around the deep water of the ship. Everything was diminished by the hit of that gigantic wave. I half swam, half crawled into the children's cabin. Are you all right? I asked. Yes, they answered from an upper bunk. But my head hurts a bit, said Sue, pointing to a big bunk above her eyes. I had no time to worry about bumped heads. So, half swam, half crawled. आधा तैर के आधे crawling. When you move on your knee, it is called crawling. आधा crawling करके, आधा swimming करके. Anyhow, I reached to the cabin and I asked children, are you all right? They answered yes. But my head hurt. Sue, जो उसकी बेटी थी, upper bunk. Bunk means the different partition on a wall on which the people can sleep. Especially ट्रेन में आपने देखा है, ऐसी शिप में भी होते हैं अलग अलग लेयर्स सोने के लिए. इट इज कॉल्ड बंक. अपर बंक से आवाज आई. बट माई हेड हर्ट्स अ बिट, सेड सू. अपने बिग बम्प, उसके हेड में बड़ा सा बम्प हो गया, बड़ा सा उभार, एक स्वेलिंग हो गई है. बल्ज, बम्प आर द कैन बी सेड द सिनोनिम्स. Above her eyes, उसकी आंखों के ऊपर. I had no time to worry about bumped heads. It was urgency, so I couldn't stop myself to see the injury of my daughter Sue. After finding a hammer, screws, and canvas, I struggled back on deck with the starboard side burst open. We were taking water with each wave that broke over us. If I couldn't make some repairs, we would surely sink. After finding hammer, मैंने नीचे फिर वहाँ hammer ढूंढा, screws ढूंढे. Canvas is a kind of waterproof cloth, and I struggled back, and anyhow I came up on the deck with the starboard side best open, जो खुला हुआ एक टूटा हुआ हिस्सा था starboard का. We were taking water with each wave that broke over us. Every wave that broke on my ship, on that part of broken sideboard, the water used to come inside the ship. So to repair that broken part of the side, means the broken side, I had already taken this screws, canvas, hammer, everything. So we were taking water with each wave that broke over us, means that came over us. If I couldn't make some repairs, we would surely sink. And I knew, the narrator knew this, that part of the ship is very urgently to be repaired. Somehow I managed to stretch the canvas. It was windy, watery everywhere. The waves are coming and so urgency on the ship. Still, the narrator managed to stretch, to spread over, ऐसे उसको खींच कर लगाने में सक्सेसफुल हुआ. किसको? कैनवास को. एंड सिक्योर वाटरप्रूफ हैच कवर्स अक्रॉस द गैपिंग होल. जहाँ जहाँ गैपिंग होल था वहाँ वाटरप्रूफ हैच उसने लगा दिए, सो दैट द वाटर विल नॉट रिसीड इनसाइड द शिप. Waterproof hatch covers across the gaping holes. Some water continued to stream below, but most of it was now being deflected over the side. अभी भी कुछ पानी अंदर आ रहा था, but most of the water was being deflected by this repair. More problems arose when our hand pumps started to block up, with the debris floating around the cabins, and the electric pump short circuited. अब प्रॉब्लम और बड़ी हो गई. नाउ द पंप, जिसको हैरी और जो हर्ब और हब एंड जो लैरी थे वो पंप कर रहे थे वाटर को, दे स्टार्ट चोकिंग. वो चोक हो गए, ब्लॉक हो गए. दे स्टॉप्ड वर्किंग एट ऑल. अब पानी बाहर जाए कैसे? The water level rose threateningly. Water level threateningly means dangerously ऊपर आ रहा था शिप में. Back on deck, I found that our two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard. Along with the forestaysail, the jib, the dinghies and the main anchor. Back on the deck, वापस बैग पे मैंने देखा, we have two spare hand pumps. We have got two extra hand pumps. Spare means extra hand pumps. Had been wrenched. Wrenched means tight up. Wrench कर दिया था उन्हें, बांध के रखा हुआ था कहाँ? Overboard. Along the forestaysail और jib और dinghy जहाँ ये रहती है वहीं दो पंप भी रखे थे, and together with main anchor. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. Then it came to my mind, it struck me that we have one more electric pump and it is there in the chart room floor. Chart room floor is under the deck where the person or the crew member of the ship can see the charts. वो charts देखते हैं, direction देखते हैं, उसका जो समुद्र में जो उनके sea में latitude and longitudes होती हैं उनको calculate करते हैं. So that is called chart room. I connected it to an out pipe. मैंने उस इलेक्ट्रिक पंप को कनेक्टेड किया आउट पाइप पे and was thankful to find that it worked. So that electric pump was working. I was thankful to it. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, steering and working the radio. So that night dragged on. Dragged on means went on anyhow. It seemed as if the night is endless. When you are in a trouble, you feel that time has stopped there. Bitterly cold routine. It was very cold routine. One by one, we are busy, Larry, Herb and me, pumping, steering the wheel, working on the radio, asking for the help. We are getting no replies to our mayday calls. Mayday calls means the calls in the sea which doesn't which are not heard, which doesn't get any reply. Mayday calls, हम आवाज देते हैं अपने microphones पे, help us, we are in danger, please come help us, but we do not get any reply. It is called mayday calls. So getting no replies to our mayday calls, हम blank call में जा रहा था, कोई reply नहीं था, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. And I knew that the southern Indian Ocean is the remotest of the sea routes. Sea routes का सबसे remote है. So it was possible that it may not have getting any signal on that part of sea. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. Now Sue's condition was going very difficult. उसका head बहुत alarming, dangerous तरीके से swollen हो गया था. That bump, what she had reported. She had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm, and her head was very much swollen. उसकी black eyes थी, वो भी बड़ी बड़ी हो गई थी. She had two enormous black eyes, चोट की वजह से blackness. When the blood get clotted under the skin gets black. So आंखों में भी उसके काले ऐसे हो गए थे, बड़े बड़े से गोले. And now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. Then we noticed that she has also got an injury on her arm. It was a deep cut wound. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, she replied, I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all. So when I came to your cabin, means when the narrator asked to his daughter that when he came to her cabin, why didn't she tell about these injuries of eyes and arms? So what was her reply? She replied bravely. That brave girl gave a brave reply. क्या था उसका brave reply? I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all. You were busy in saving our lives. Means the urgency was there, not me. So I didn't tell anything to you. So with this is the, I think third part of the story. So with this we have the another part, you can see. So next time we will try to finish it up. It's a long story, but we will finish it very soon. Till then, what you need to do, you can take the screenshot. If you don't have a book, you can take the screenshot and you can read it yourself, find out all the difficult words, question and answer as always, and together with writing summary every day of the story. So this is now you need to do. So we will come together again with a